We want to show you a roast with the BC-15 double wall. We're going to roast 1 pound to show you that you can actually do all the way down samples of 1 pound in the BC-15. There's a couple of things that you need to do, basically controlling it by sight, smell, and sound, because the bean temperature probe will not reach down for the 1 pound level, even if you readjust it to the added spot we make in the drum door. But we're going to show you, and it's real simple to control it, so this will really make a big difference in having a bigger roaster, 15 pound, that will be able to do samples as well. So here we got 1 pound of Ethiopian Yirgacheffe ready to roast. So we've preheated the roaster to nearly 500 degrees. We're letting it cool down just a bit. Here's our 1 pound of Ethiopian Yirgacheffe going into the hopper. And in just a minute, when it's cooled down a bit, we're going to begin the roast. Okay, so our temperature is about 350, the charge point. Let me start my timer. Let me open up the hopper. 1 whole pound is in there, and as you can see, the beans have plenty of room to run. I'm hoping you'll be able to see the beans. I may have to move the camera again, but there's not a lot of beans bouncing around in there. But here we are at 3.5 minutes. We're using propane, so our KPA is at about 1/3. The airflow is at about 3. And I'm going to kick up the drum a little bit faster, because otherwise it's not going to spin enough to go into the tri. So while I'd normally have my drum speed around 7-ish, 7.5, I actually have it on 9 right now. If you can see, we still have a dull green bean. So our rate of rise is not real fast at all right now. The temperature on the panel says 341 and 340 for the BT and ET, but it's probably lower than that, and we're at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'm actually going to bump up the KPA to about 1/2. Actually, I went up to about 3/4 of a KPA. Whenever you're roasting, if you start to notice little bits of debris coming out of the front of the drum, it means your airflow needs to be cranked up some. So I'm cranking it up to 5. And also, if you notice your debris tray filling a little bit more, it means your airflow needs to be bumped up a bit more. As you can see now, we're clearly in the mallard phase. A light brown, tannish brown. We're at 5 minutes 25 seconds. The airflow is at 378. According to this, the bean temperature is 374, but it's probably more like about 340. As you can see, our probe is way up here, so there's no way it's going to read the true bean temperature. And if we were to move it down to our lower area, which is provided for those who want it in the door, it still wouldn't do that on 1 pound. That's why you're going by your experience, sight, smell, and sound, and viewing it and making your adjustments based on that. Just to show you how much control you've got with the double wall drum, you'd never be able to do this with a single wall. We're actually at 6 minutes 40 seconds. We've got the KPA up now to about 3/4. You got a light brown there. This is an Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, so you got that unevenness in the beans, but it's still going at a nice pace. In fact, we probably could have gone at a little bit faster pace, but here we are. The airflow temperature is at 413, which is going to be mainly what you're relying on. The time is at 7 minutes 16 seconds. So we're going to probably be going into first crack somewhere around 8.5 minutes. But the wonderful thing about this is by having a double wall BC-15, you can now use it as a sample roaster, whereas before you would have had to buy a separate BC1 or 2 as a sample roaster. And we're wondering how far we can go now with the BC-25. Probably can do 2 pound, maybe even 1. I actually think, here we are going into first crack, I actually think we could probably do 8 ounces on this unit. Yeah, 7 minutes, 59 seconds. We're in first crack. The hot air temperature is 426. I'm guessing our bean temperature is about 385. Let's take a look at our beans. A nice light brown. There, one just popped right when I pulled it out. A couple of them got away. Let me put them back in since there's not many in there. And we're going into a rapid first crack. If you can hear that, obviously it's not going to be as loud as if you're doing 3, 4, 5 pounds or 15. Eight minutes, 40 seconds. So here we are now, we're at 9 minutes, 434 on the hot air, probably about 400 on the, maybe 405 on the bean. I think we'll go about another 30 seconds and do it about a 9 minute and 45 second roast. Then you can take a peek at how it looks. Okay, we just cut off the gas. It's 9 minutes, 40 seconds, 448 on the hot air. I'm going to turn on the cooling tray, take one last check. Yep, right where we want it. And there you go. 1 full pound Ethiopian Yirgacheffe in the BC-15.